when it comes to chess emotions, do you feel like the joy of a huge victory is equal to, let's say, the pain of a big disappointment, or is the pain more, or is the joy more significant?
Mm, I I think the balance was so much in favor of winning and having the celebrations that they're losing. So I had two. Actually, probably the worst moment was probably it's Deep Blue, the last game. Again, match was Kramnik, but somehow at one point I knew I would not recover. So that's why it was not such a shock. That's just I guess after game 12 that I have not won the game 12. I was close, and it was also my son's birthday. So and I just somehow felt that that's it. So that's why I was mentally prepared for the upcoming disaster. For me, losing was kind of a warning that I did something wrong. So I treated them differently. Celebration is just getting energy and rallying others. Losing, you have to go back. You have to study. You have to do something to change things. So that's why I wouldn't compare these two.
What was that moment of realization? And by your nature, you're always trying to strive to improve and find the places where you can find progress. Did you go back home and you started looking at those type of things, started training, or were you already thinking about, retirement at that point?
You mean Kramnik match?
After Kramnik match,
no. I want to come back.
You wanted to come back.
Look, yeah. I mean, objectively, yes, I think I was a better player at the time. So, and you look at my results prior to this match and 2 years after the match. So it's, I think Yasser Serovan said that it's just this. It didn't match because it's very odd because you have a series of 10 events that I won, and just in the middle I have this awful match. No, I realized mistakes I made, and just I had a lot of work, and I think this next year I did well, and beating Kramnik in Astana and just destroying the Berlin Wall, so it was winning the last game and playing well throughout the whole year. So that's for me that was justification for the rematch. So I was still under the impression that this is the World Championship match should be an event between two best players, and let's be very clear. The one day I remember well is this is when Vichy dropped out from this match because it was the idea was I would play Vichy, and there were money available in Britain. Ray Keane came up with some money, and they wanted to have the match. And I was quite desperate because I wanted to play a match. So this is the last match I played in 1995, and though I had great results, but still needed the match. And when Vichy informed us that he would not play, though it was not a surprise because it's clearly he was not very excited to play another match against me. So his performance in Linares was quite awful. So it was just before the moment when I had to decide, and I was in my apartment in Moscow with my mother and Yuri Dokhoyan, and they both looked at me. They were just saying, "Okay, what's next?" And for Yuri, it was easy choice. I mean, technically, I could have said Shirov because Shirov played Kramnik. It was 2 years ago, and I said, but it's not fair because Shirov already is playing poorly. It's not, and of course, my score against Shirov is devastating. So the sponsor will be unhappy. And Yuri said, "What the hell? I mean, this is are you seriously going to play Kramnik? Because it's a." I said, "Yeah, I want the challenge." My mother said nothing. I mean, she always, just used to follow, my decisions. So I'm not sure she was happy, but from the other hand, so fine, challenge. So she knew my character, so I wanted to have a challenge. Now, I could dictate any terms at the time. So and maybe I was wrong. So definitely I could insist on having a rematch in the rules. Or as Lasker did, to demand, half of the prize fund given to me first. I don't think Kramnik had any say at the time, but I wanted to play a fair match, and I expected this to be just as the favor to be returned because, for me it was just to prove that I deserved rematch by playing well. And one of my main backers, just donors, called me after Astana saying, "Now So when basically asking me a bank account where we should transfer money for the rematch. I said we should still wait. And I remember one of my very close friends when we talked about this. It's about the match. It was London. Just this was over. Closing ceremony, and I was talking about the rematch, how I would come back, and he just looked at me sadly and said, "Gary, you played match with Kramnik. You lost, and you still didn't understand who you were dealing with. So you would never ever play a match against him." So my friend was right. But I tried. So this is the final decision to actually to stop playing chess. It's a combination of factors. But when I realized it's after match aborted match with Ponomarev, that somehow they would not let me play another match. So because match with Ponomarev, was a part of this Prague deal, and which was probably a lousy decision from my side. But I wanted to find a legal way to come back because I still believe I was a better player.
Yeah.
But the whole story is Ponomarev match that was just aborted for no reason. So that's it was a signal that I would never have I would never have another shot.
It kind of reminds me of your situation in London as well after the match with Magnus. Did you at any point think, hey, at some point I will have another match with Magnus after you lost?
I think ours was much more straightforward. I mean, it was just, there was no negotiations. It was just I qualified, I lost, and then I would have to qualify again if I wanted to play him again. That was it. I was not thinking, if I want to or not. It's just I have to. Yeah.